Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Police High Command condemns killing of Sergeant, orders top-level probe. In condemning Sunday's murder of Sergeant Avril McCullin, the Police High Command has declared that a top-level probe has been ordered into the killing. McCullin was gunned down about 1:25 a.m. Sunday on Cottage Drive in Gregory Park, St. Catherine. According to the head of the Police Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, who spoke with reporters yesterday, McCullin was among a group playing a game of dominoes in the back of a yard when the incident occurred. The JCF family extend condolences to the family of Sergeant McCullin. "We know you are hurting because the entire JCF is also grieving," stated the High Command of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF in a statement on Monday. It added that a top-level probe into the circumstances surrounding the killing of Sergeant McCullin has been ordered by the High Command. Meanwhile, the JCF Chaplain Services Branch and the Community Safety and Security Branch have been dispatched to the St. Andrew South Division, where McCullin last served, to give support to his colleagues. Support has also been offered to his family, the High Command stated. Update on the probe into the murder, according to the statement, will be provided when available.
3 hours of Sunday morning, 5 friends decided to enjoy a game of dominoes in their community of Gregory Park, St. Catherine. The game ended sometime after 1 a.m. when a vehicle approached the group. It is reported that 6 men exited the vehicle armed with high-powered rifles, spraying the area with bullets where the men sat. It is understood that a sergeant of police at the Huntsby police station sustained gunshot wounds in the daring attack. Superintendent of Police for St. Catherine South Division, Christopher Phillips, says the superintendent was rushed to the hospital. However, he was later pronounced dead.
About 3 teams were in the community at the time of the incident. They were pretty close by. That's why they were able to have a very quick response, to assist the police. We are deeply disappointed about what happened. We're not going to take it lightly.
Phillips says the Gregory Park area has a gang problem that needs serious intervention. He says the police will continue to maintain their presence within the area to ensure the residents are secured as they work overtime to bring these perpetrators to justice.
We recognize that to treat with this issue is going to require more surgical type of precision policing to treat specifically with the gangs in the Gregory Park area, and that is what we're going to be pursuing in a much more coordinated and focused way to target these violence producers within the Gregory Park space.
Phillips says the bad apples are just a handful and encourages citizens to cooperate with the police as they make an effort to bring the space to peace.
I know that it's just a small percentage of persons who are destroying that community, and I would invite the larger percentage of good law-abiding citizens to come and join with the police so that we can resolve the issues of Gregory Park once and for all. I want to reassure you too that we will continue to maintain our presence in that community. Naturally, we'll have a response to this incident, and it is going to require full cooperation of the members of the community going forward.
Safe travel. Firefighters' last words to colleagues who perish in crash. A young firefighter, Nicholas Nelson, broke down in tears as he recounted the final moments he spent with his 2 colleagues who lost their lives in a motor vehicle crash minutes after they dropped him home, and he wished them a safe trip. They took him home after completing their shift at the HRS fire station in St. Anne last Monday night, September 13. Nelson recalled encouraging his colleagues to travel safely as the Toyota Corolla Axio motor car in which they were traveling drove off. "It is sad that the last thing I said to them was safe travel. This was the last thing I said to them," he reported. About 30 minutes later, Nelson was jolt by a phone call about the demise of his colleagues, Stephen Walters, who is originally from Steertown in St. Anne, and Alex Williams from Willowdene in the Spanish Town area of St. Catherine. The car they were in crashed with another in the vicinity of the Laughlin Post Office in St. Anne. That was a lot to bear, Nelson declared, adding that he did not visit the crash scene due to a lack of transportation. The night it happened, I could not sleep. It was hard to actually close my eyes. It is still not easy, he said. Nelson, who started working at the Ocherous Fire Station a year ago, said that he had developed a brotherly bond with Williams and Walters. I have come to know them not as colleagues, but as friends and as brothers. All of us cling together as brothers, as a unit, as a body, he added. Nelson disclosed that Walters was usually willing to drop him home during curfews and lockdowns, which the government recently put in place to help slow down the spread of the novel coronavirus. On the night of the crash, a lockdown was in effect, and so Nelson was left without access to public transportation. When I come to work and know that the country is under curfew or lockdown on that particular day, I usually ask him, Walters, to come and pick me up. If it is a lockdown, he usually carries me back home because he lives close to where I live, Nelson explained. He said the lockdown was among the last topics raised with his late colleagues. Walters, he said, was inquiring when the lockdowns would end. The transportation woes that sometimes hit Nelson and other firefighters has not gone unnoticed since the death of Walters and Williams. 4 days after the crash, Minister responsible for the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Desmond Mackenzie, announced that discussions are taking place in a bid to address the situation. The announcement is long overdue but welcome, Nelson said. It is sad that something has to happen for something to be implemented and put in place when it should have been done long time, he further reasoned. Not everyone drives. Some of us come to work by foot. When the country is on lockdown, we as civil servants, we are frontline workers. It is difficult to come to work because there are no taxis on the road to carry us to work. It's risky for us. Nelson, in the meantime, is not the only firefighter who seems deflated by the tragedy. Mackenzie in talks with JFB to provide support to firefighters working long hours. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond Mackenzie says discussions are underway to provide logistical support to firefighters working long hours. This was revealed during a visit to the Ocherous Fire Station in St. Anne on Friday, as the minister offered up support to members of the station who lost 2 of their own to a car crash earlier this month. Alex Williams and Stephen Walters were heading home from work after dropping off another Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB colleague on September 13 when the accident occurred, indicating that the loss has left a pall of gloom over the JFB. The minister says he is engaging the JFB hierarchy to see how best they can prevent future accidents post-shift. I am going to engage the leadership of the brigade as to how we can treat with situations that can prevent firefighters, after completing long shifts, to get home without them having to be sitting behind the wheels, he said. He added, it is a discussion that has already started with the commissioner, and I intend to have the board engage some more to see how best this can be done. He also used the opportunity to pledge support for the families of the 2 firefighters, indicating that assistance will be provided to cover their funeral expenses. I will be doing everything in my power to ensure that their families receive the best possible support. We will do what is necessary to ensure that the families are not stressed too much in terms of all that is necessary for the funeral arrangements. So I'm giving them the full assurance that I will work closely with the JFB to ensure that this is done, he said. 24-year-old motorcyclist killed in St. Elizabeth crash. Police are reporting that a 24-year-old man died as a result of injuries he sustained in a crash on the Emmaus Main Road south of Santa Cruz in St. Elizabeth on Monday. Police named the deceased as Chesnardi Wright, a farmer of Leeds District in the parish. The police said about 9:30 a.m., the driver of a Toyota Corolla motor car was traveling on the main road when Wright, who was traveling in the opposite direction aboard a motorcycle, reportedly overtook another vehicle and collided head-on with the Corolla. Wright was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. New vendor regulations for Mobe take effect October 1. Chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation and Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Leroy Williams, says he is moving to have vending regulated in downtown Montego Bay by October 1. Mayor Williams said that despite several meetings with vendors to regulate their status, they continue to peddle their wares at will, to include St. James Street, which has been declared a no vending zone. Vendors can be seen on St. James Street, vendors with items of clothing strung on street fronts, handcarts, and seen located with gun provisions and several food vendors, to include jerk pan vendors with smoke billowing from their operations in all areas, making the Montego Bay Cultural Center barely visible and leaving ash and grease which discolor the cobblestones. Pedestrians barely have access to the sidewalk, causing them to be competing with motor vehicles. This is an untidy situation, Williams said. He added that this latest move to regulate vending in downtown Montego Bay is not aimed at depriving those involved of a livelihood, but is being done to bring back some semblance of law and order in this space. I want to make it absolutely clear that I am not opposed to vending. However, I do believe it can be done in a more orderly and structured way, Williams said. He went on to again state the designated and approved vending areas for downtown Montego Bay, which are Church Lane, Lower Market Street, Long Lane, Orange Street, Lower Lawrence Lane, North Lane, Top St. Calvers Avenue in front of the Hilo Supermarket, and Corner Lane conditional vending. Williams also stated that St. James Parish remains a strict no vending area, a position which he said will be maintained going forward. Montego Bay is no ordinary city. It is the tourism capital of Jamaica, and it is often referred to as the tourism mecca of the Caribbean. When visitors from all parts of the world come to Jamaica and come to downtown Montego Bay, they are appalled by the chaotic situation on St. James Street. This reflects badly on our great and wonderful city, he charged. Williams pointed out that St. James Municipal Corporation is currently in the process of registering vendors, which will pave the way for a planned rollout of vendors operating with valid identification cards, which will be color-coded to indicate their vending location. By Friday, October 1, all registered vendors should have their color-coded identification card, which will include where they should vend. Handcart vendors with gun provisions must confine themselves to the market district, the mayor said. He also pointed out that there will be lines of demarcation in the approved vending areas to indicate the space for which each vendor, and that no parking signs will be erected in order to have motor vehicle park along approved vending streets. Vendors who fail to comply with the rules of engagement face the risk of having their goods seized, being prosecuted, and that their ID cards and vending permits will be revoked, Williams added. Youth in Efforts Clarendon making an effort to improve his community. When it comes to taking pride in his community, Desmond Faulkner is like no other. In fact, he doesn't follow the crowd once he sets his mind to carrying out improvement work. While driving through the community of Efforts in Clarendon recently, heard music blaring and saw a few residents rocking to the beat while watching Faulkner single-handedly making a stone wall on the bank of the Effort River.
We are dealing with a little community center thing, but you know, to all the river, I go up on the banks here, we are dealing with one little wall, you know, to hold up the place and thing, you know. So right along right we are just go and deal with, because it don't make sense to deal with a little river coast like this, you know, because we don't want to cave in.
Did you have a wall before tropical storm Ida the other day?
Yeah, I was starting one, but eventually the one they washed away. You know, so start over again and trying to make it stronger and better, because the rain kind of open my eyes as to how far the river can come. So my ability now in prevention of that, you know.
I noticed in passing that most of the other persons are either enjoying themselves in the river or sitting by the roadside. So why is it that you seem like you want to take on this project all by yourself?
I like being in the river also, you know. But I mean, like, I like the riverside thing, and you know, I just want to know that the riverside stay like how we want it to be. We welcome strangers here, you know, because we want to make it be a more popular place, a nice river coast, you know. Yeah, so we just try to develop the place a little better.
So what are the other persons working with you on this project?
My friend Kishan and my son AJ so far, you know. And we have Barrett on the team, Desmond. Yeah, other Desmond on the team as well. My end goal in mind, you know, It's just more time the pressure, you know, of people in fighting down progress in the era and, you know, trying to make it be a scene like we are doing bad. You know, we just want to know that everything is okay with what we're doing.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.